You talked before about China eventually overtaking the US as the number one economy in the world. Many look at this as a potential relationship of conflict. How do you view the China-US relationship, and how does the US balance a rising China? Does it need to contain a rising China?
Well, inevitably, there's a competitive element. I think it's somewhat naive to believe that countries of this size. I mean, you see it. You sort of see the peaceful war that goes on in terms of competition at the Olympics or the Paralympics, and the joy and disappointment on national success. And by the way, it's best we keep the rivalry to the sporting arena, although it doesn't get too intense, hopefully. But I think it's a bit naive to believe that it won't. I don't think that from a military point of view, China is a threat, but of course a lot of people worry about the extent to which the proportion of GNP, not as great as America, but the proportion of their GNP that increasingly China are devoting to military, whether it be the Army, the Navy, the Air Force or whatever, and also as to what China's territorial ambitions are. Having said that, I don't think if you look at history, I think we would all agree that China has not necessarily been expansionist, other than the lands that they think are the appropriate part of China. So I wouldn't expect that. But the soft diplomacy of China is formidable. They are the people who really understand, in my view, that this is the decade of Latin America. I mean, I went to President Santos's inauguration in Colombia. You go to Mexico. You go to Chile, you go to Argentina, you go to Brazil, and you see Brazil is a great example. Pre-Lula, the US was 30%, I think, of Brazilian exports, maybe Brazilian trade. Today it's 12%, and the biggest trade partner is China. So you have this development of south-to-south trade, which is extremely powerful and growing. India, biggest trade partner now, China. So one of the problems the UK has, ironically, is that we have not expanded our trade with the BRICS and Next 11 to the degree that we should. And Stephen Green, for example, is leading a trade mission to Brazil. There are rumors that David Cameron might be coming here to China pretty soon after the Politburo leadership is announced. So I think it'll be competitive on the commercial side. I don't think it will be competitive on the military side, but where China really has done well, it's not just South America, Africa, 800,000 Chinese in one way or another doing projects of one way or another in Africa, obviously the Middle East, an alternative source of energy, food sourcing. I mean, they're worried about securing their energy and food supply lines, which I think anybody in their right minds would be concerned about too.